Hi unicorns, it's Emma here, or a Mama Unicorn. I hope you're all well. So over the past few days I was thinking that, maybe it's time to close the channel down because I wasn't seeming to get any comments or anything like that. And then yesterday I realised that I was looking in the wrong section of the comments and all the comments were being held for review, and I didn't realise that. I must have set it to filter like that before I went into rehab and forgotten all about it. So last night I was faced with hundreds and hundreds of comments. Lots of them are, I just want to say I'm absolutely blown away by so many of you wishing me good luck and rooting for me, and not necessarily realising that I'm actually over a year clean from crystal meth now, and still saying I hope you're doing well and things like that, and it really warmed my heart, and a few people said that my videos are helping others, so that's really inspired me to keep going. There were one or two comments I noticed, where people are a bit uneducated around the subject of addiction, and they were explaining their opinion, which clearly wasn't from experience, was that crystal meth is very easy to come off, and it's just a couple of days of cold turkey and anxiety and feeling like crap and sleeping. But if crystal meth was that easy to get off, there wouldn't be so many people fighting a potentially losing battle with it, and that's what I want to talk about right now. Is even though I am, April, May, June, July, so even though I'm nearly 15 months free from crystal meth, I'm by no means out of the woods with it. I still get dreams, very, very realistic using dreams, where I can see the crystals in great detail. I can see the smoke swirling around the bowl in great detail. I can even feel the high in great detail, and that's very scary. Just the other day I was driving. Oh, bear with me, I just got to let my dog out. Go on then. Go see Daddy. Just the other day I was driving down the motorway, and my mind started just drifting off into the thought of crystal meth came into my mind, and I started daydreaming about it while I was driving, and the thoughts of missing the high started creeping in, and all the delusional thoughts. The thing with crystal meth is that from the very first use, it's like the answer, or the delusion, the lie that it tells your body is it's the answer to everything that you've been seeking. It feels comforting, it feels like you're on top of the world. There is no way to properly explain what it's like, and it keeps feeding you that lie. I used to say when I was using it that it was like my dark comfort blanket, my dark security blanket, which is just a delusional thing to say anyway. It was rotting my brain, and 15 months later from the last time that I used it, I am still trying to put the pieces of my life back together. I was only on it for 9 months, I believe, and 15 months later, I'm still piecing together and clearing up the mess that it made of me, psychologically and physically as well, because I've been battling from depression. So I'm now taking antidepressants. I've got videos going on about that. I've had to work through all sorts of trauma that happened during that very short time using it, and I did become hooked from the very first try, and people say, oh, well, the best thing to do is not try it. Well, do you know what? That is very good advice. The only way to not get addicted to crystal meth is to never try it. And anybody that's contemplating trying it, don't make the mistake that I did, because the mistake that I made was I Googled, is it possible to use crystal meth and not get addicted to it? And the only reason I used it in the first place is because the amphetamines that I was getting were getting worse and worse in quality, and I didn't know what they were cut with. They weren't functioning, they weren't helping me function like they had been. And so I very stupidly tried crystal meth, and I did Google, is it possible to use it without getting addicted to it? Of course, there's lots of people out there saying, oh yeah, I like to have some before I go to work and things like that. But what they don't say is how long they've been doing that for. And the difficulty comes in trying to put it down, and do I still grieve it. It sounds ridiculous, but when I had to give it up, when I went into rehab, it was like I was grieving the loss of a loved one. That is how intense the hold is. That's how strong the hold is that it has on you, and that's how warped the lies are. I've just got to disconnect my drive from backing up a minute. Sorry about that. So grieving the loss of a loved one, and even to this day, 15 months on, those thoughts still go through my mind, and I think, oh my God, I'm never ever going to be able to use it again, because I know that I can't, because if I do, that's it, I've messed my life up and I've got too much to live for. I'm married now, I've got my children in my life, I'm supporting them, I'm being the mother that they need me to be, finally. And I've got my life, I have got a life now. Even though I'm still picking up the pieces, the worst day for me in recovery is still better than my best day using drugs, definitely. But those thoughts, it doesn't stop those thoughts coming through my mind. And when they come through, it feels torturous, it feels heartbreaking. Imagine losing somebody very, very dear to you and never being able to see them again, and those thoughts of the sense of loss, the grief, the missing, the longing. That is what it feels like. And to anybody that hasn't tried it, you won't understand this. But this is why I'm sharing this, so that you don't have to experience this. If you're contemplating trying the drug and you haven't, and you want to know why it's so addictive, well, this is why. And I can guarantee you will get addicted to it. And it seems that for men as well, it messes with their brain a lot more than it does the females. I don't know why that is, but the general stories that I've heard, and also through witnessing my husband when he was using it, witnessing what he went through, men tend to go into psychoses on a deeper level, hallucinogenic, delusional psychoses, that their reality, their world becomes very small, and their reality is very real, but it's very far off somebody's reality, the outside world's reality. It's really scary. But to a degree that happened to me as well, I thought that I was managing it, I thought I was using it fine, I thought I was hiding it from everybody, but I wasn't. And it's a very deceptive drug. It's when you're addicted to amphetamines, or you're addicted to crack, or you're addicted to all the other drugs, it's very easy to quickly establish that, hang on a minute, I've got a drug problem, I need to sort this out, help. But with crystal meth, it leads you into this delusion that you're not high and you're coping fine, and because your reality becomes your reality, and it's very far out, believe me. So yes, the best way to not get addicted to it is to never to take it. There is hope. If you are addicted to it, there is hope. I found my hope in God. As soon as I started praying to God, he answered me and he opened the doors to rehab for me. Rehab wasn't an option for me, which is why I was trying to withdraw at home. It was why I posted all those videos of the torture I was going through and trying to quit the drugs. So many times I tried on my own to do it and I couldn't. And when I started praying to God, all of a sudden, through, even though the circumstances leading up to it were not very nice, social services got involved and things like that, it did open the pathway, the doorway for me to go into rehab and just to have some respite and get off it. I was also using copious amounts of benzos as well, and that was how I actually managed to get into rehab, because benzo withdrawal is very, very dangerous. You've seen the videos of me trying to withdraw from it, so I don't need to explain how hard it is to withdraw from it. In a safe environment, in a cocoon of rehab, it's very, very different. It's a lot easier to come off it. Although I was climbing the walls, and in my first 4 days I packed my bags to leave rehab 5 times, which was kind of a running joke between me and my key worker, my support worker, while I was in there. So I was climbing the walls, and to this day I have to be so wary of those, so cautious of those thoughts creeping in, because if I allow them to fester, if I allow them to linger, that lie, which is the lie of the enemy, the devil, can take root. And if that lie takes root, I'm in danger. I'm on dangerous ground, and this is what happens. People come off it, and they might get, like I did, I got 2 weeks clean all by myself because my supply had run out. But the second that I had access to it again, poof, I was gone again, because it's that lure and coming off of it as well, because crystal meth users will spend so long awake. The body goes into like a comatized state and just wants to sleep, and there's the ongoing battle with depression, anxiety, your your central nervous system having to rewire and cope with the real world again, and, start to fit into with what a normal reality is like. And that only happens bit by bit. It doesn't happen overnight. I can look back now, a year ago, I thought, I'm out of rehab now, I'm doing well. But when I look back on how I was a year ago to what I'm like now, I'm in such a different place now to what I was back then. And it really has taken a long time for my brain to rewire. And it's still not there. So in answer to all those people that think that it's easy to get off crystal meth, if it was easy, there wouldn't be any crystal meth junkies. It wouldn't be like one of the most addictive drugs in the entire world. So please, when you're posting comments like that, please refrain, please think things through. I'm not even sure that those kinds of people will watch these videos, because they judge. And unfortunately, that's the sad reality that we live in. People do judge. People are judgmental, but there is a day of judgment coming where everybody that judges another person will be judged themselves. So everybody will be judged anyway. So you're either judged for how you love people, or you're judged for how you don't love people, because the fundamental key of the Bible is to love one another and do all things in love. So there you go. Anyway, thank you so much for those of you with all your amazing comments of support. If there's any questions you'd like to ask me that you would like me to do a video on, then please do put it in the comments below. Remember to click subscribe as well, and the little bell icon to receive notifications. Anything else you want me to talk about, I've got 42 years of life experience, ranging from, all sorts, so many different mental health topics: premenstrual dysphoric disorder, depression, anxiety, borderline personality disorder, ADHD, PTSD, suicide attempts, being an addict mom, being bullied at school, not fitting in. There is so much, homelessness, but also on the other side of things, running businesses, being a creative person. I'm a photographer. I've run my own clothing label before that. I did that for 7 years, but I had a mental health crash and a nervous breakdown. There is so much life experience I have, so if I can help somebody by sharing and answering questions, please fire away, don't hold back. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you all. Bye.